Today we're going to be checking out the Otto Audio 1111 amp sim. So right away, just Otto Audio sent me this. They asked me if I want to check it out, maybe do a demo about it. And I thought that'd be pretty cool, you know. I mean, I don't do a ton of amp sim demos. I've definitely done a handful. I'm definitely down to do more. I hadn't done one like this. Normally the amp sims I try out are based on actual amplifiers, but this is something that they built from the ground up. Now, it's their own thing. It's definitely American voiced, definitely a bit more scoopy, very saturated. Huge low end, absolutely gigantic bulbous low end, and then this thing is just absolutely jam-packed with features to customize to get basically whatever kind of high gain metal tone that you want. There's so many features on this thing, I don't even think I'm going to be able to remember to say all of them. I'm pretty sure I won't, but I'll definitely go over them in the out of mix while I'm tweaking everything. But there's a cool boost on the back, which is definitely good to get more cut and to tighten up that huge low end. A ton of different built-in cabs, and of course you can turn the cabs off. You can also, for the built-in ones, control the resonance on them, which is pretty cool. It has a feature where if you're playing into it with a single guitar, it can make it sound like a double tracked kind of a thing, which I think is pretty cool. You can go between different tubes. They have 3 different power tube types. You have EL34, 6L6s, and KT88s. They also have a bunch of different controls like the feedback and sag controls and a bunch of stuff for the power amp section that can really help shape things. Of course, you have your gain, your bass, middle, treble, your presence, your resonance controls, all the basic stuff that you'd find on an amp. But then there's different things you can do with the impedance curves, which I've never seen on one of these amp sims and plugins, and that really shapes things and massively affects things. And then on top of that, there is a section where you can add in different like settings for the amplifier. Essentially, like there's the auto, which I ended up really liking. There was like long tube, there was some more kind of old school sounds they were going for, and also all of that stuff drastically changes what the tone sounds like. So we're gonna just hear this inside and outside of a mix. I'm gonna be going into this with my Cerberus Cerberus guitar, my 7-string, and that's gonna go directly into my Audient Audio Evo interface, and all the guitar tones are gonna be this plugin set up with my little chuggy rhythm preset that I worked on, that I was able to get pretty quickly with this thing after messing around and kind of figuring out what all the different controls do and how they affect the tone. And then we'll hear it outside of a mix, absolutely the same setup, and I'm just going to go through and play with all the knobs and all the cool little tweaks that you can make this do, and it's to show how it massively changes the sound and how this thing is just super tweakable to get basically anything you want out of it. So that's definitely enough talking about it. Let's check it out. Like I said, huge, massive low end. Definitely would compare the low end to something like maybe a dual rec, but the amp is definitely not based around a dual rec or anything else. It doesn't sound or quite feel like anything. Like I said, it's definitely more American voice. It's not more kind of dry and British. It's super saturated, super wide sounding, but it's really doing its own thing. And it has just a ton of features. Like I said, there's so much here that can massively affect your tone. You can just end up losing hours tweaking and changing things and trying stuff out, which is pretty cool. But it's also not hard to dial it in and find a cool sound that you like either. So I think it's cool they sent this over. I definitely have never tried a high gain amp plugin like this, especially one that had so many different options, from the power section to tube types to impedance curves. That was definitely an interesting one. Of course, the built-in boost is pretty cool. From what they said, it was kind of like a modified like screamer type circuit. So that, again, pretty cool. The kind of like stereo effect, like the double track effect, is also a cool feature to see, controlling the resonances of the cabs. All of that's really, really cool, and I think they ended up doing something that's a little bit left of center, isn't quite like all the other stuff on the market, so could be worth checking out. At the very least, they have a free trial, so I'll link down below if you wanted to check it out and try it out. I think it's definitely worth it and pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Stay metal.